Sorry about that. Here we go. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Welcome out, everybody. Sorry about that. Welcome. We've got our audio fixed now. Welcome, Jason Saab, president founder of Roar Sports, here with you tonight for an abbreviated episode of the Lions Den Live. We are broadcasting from our home studio or makeshift studio. We're not in our regular digs tonight. Coach Miggs is not here with us. He had some family things going on, all good things, and he may call in, not sure. But otherwise, we're here. We're ready to rock and roll and cover what we have seen so far in our season. We are week 4 just completed, so we have 2 regular season games left. Then the playoffs will kick off and should be pretty exciting. Should be headed for a pretty strong finish. Some announcements, some important things coming up, especially for week 5. This weekend, the 20th of September, there are some major things going on. I want to take a peek at that real quick, and we'll hit it again at the end. At the Bridge, there is a triathlon taking place coming up this weekend. And as you can see here on the screen, the bicycle trail or the cyclists circuit is going to be the main point of concern and caution for us. So as you can see on the image there is one parking lot, and that is notated with the purplish blue P there circled. That is the only place you can park. And so please be mindful of that. You will not be able to park in any other area of the triathlon. Now there's a star there where it says cross here. There will be cattle gates set up, and all foot traffic will be bottlenecked right at the brick crossing. If you've been there before, you've seen the little brick sidewalk that goes across there. That is where the foot traffic will be crossing. And the reason why it's important that you, number one, plan on this, arrive early, arrive in time. The VIPs, volunteers and police service with Bridgeport, will be there assisting the bridge on managing the foot traffic. This area here where the cross here says is a downhill part of that trail. And so cyclists will be building up speed coming down through there. And so they will be allowing foot traffic as the cyclists come. So the moral of the story is make sure you're not late, make sure you're on time, and you can only enter through the front doors. Also, you cannot exit at all out the back doors. There'll be cyclists driving, as you can see, behind the bridge, and it'll probably be a bad day for both of you if you open up the door in the path of somebody riding a bicycle. So just wanted to get those out to you and make you aware. As some of you know, the alarms are now working on the doors. They're on the indoor turf. So make sure that you have that. Again, Jason Saab, president, founder of Roar Sports, here by myself tonight. Coach Miggs not joining us. Bear, my usual producer, not here. So you're stuck with me producing and clicking. So I'm sure I've had some hiccups at the beginning with the audio. I'm sure I'll have some more. But I wanted to take a look at the league. We wanted to set this up in advance to do 2 weeks in, 4 weeks in, and then the last 6 weeks in. So this is kind of like our midpoint check-in, and want to see how the league's going, some plays, some video clips, and so we were able to gather just a few of those up, some dynamic plays from this past week's play. Want to show those to you, as well as just kind of talk about the league and where we're going with things. So let's just get into it, and let's get started here. The rankings coming out right now. 6 and 7 U division pretty much stayed the same. A little bit of shift at the bottom. For those of you that do not know, we do our rankings by points. Well, first of all, it's your record. If there's a tie, the next tiebreaker is the head-to-head. The next tiebreaker is not points for, it's points against, which is a defensive stat. The less, the better. And then if we have to get all the way down there, it'll be a coin flip after that. And so the reason why is we just don't want to have coaches and encouragement running the scores up for no reason. We had that early in our existence when we started, and we've kind of tweaked this as we've moved along. And so anyway, back to the rankings here. The 6U division, a little bit of shift at the bottom. Buffalo jumped over the Chargers. They're in the 6U division. Same record, they just have less points allowed. The 8U division kind of settled a little bit things this past weekend. An awesome game, incredible game between the Buffalo Bills, Coach Sinelli and the Bills, and Coach Frank Sutton and the Patriots. Everybody was excited to watch this game, including myself. I had the privilege of reffing it, and it absolutely lived up to the expectations. Both teams played phenomenal. For an 8U team, both of them are exceptionally advanced when it comes to the mechanics and the throwing. They air it out a lot. The Patriots and the Bills, it was just like an air show. And then just when you thought it was safe to drop back into a cover three, here comes the run game. Both teams dynamic runners, and it was just a fun game to watch. It was a fun game, a little bit of a difficult game to officiate because I caught myself wanting to watch the game rather than officiate the game. Two good coaches, two good teams. I'm sure they will probably see each other again later on in the season, if not in the Super Bowl. However, the Broncos might have something to say about that. Coach Rakes, as always, is right up there in the mix of things. He is still undefeated, as well as the Bills. So they are the last two undefeated teams in the 8U division. So your 8U rankings right now, the Bills, the Broncos, the Patriots. Coach Boblett and the Jaguars, the 8U Jaguars, finally getting things going there. They jumped up a little bit up to fourth. The Titans and the Panthers, they're knotted up. Same record, I believe it's a point differential that is allowing them to be seated in those. And the Titans and the Panthers both teams very well coached. A lot of talent on those teams, and they don't make it easy. You've played a good team when you come out of those games. So looking for more there. And then as we round it out, Coach Wilcox and Coach Losh, both the Falcons and the Lions, a little bit tough start for the season, but they're figuring it out, and definitely a lot of bright moments as we watch their games as well, and they just continue to improve each week. So we're excited to see where that goes. Next up, the 10U division. Here's one that is shaping up to be pretty exciting. We've got the Ravens at the top with Judah Cross returning to lead them, and he's been a handful as always. Then you have last year's, the first two coaches actually, Coach Cross for the Ravens, Coach Miggs for the Lions, both of them making appearances last year in the Super Bowl. So they're both up there undefeated as well. And then the next two teams kind of knotted up. You have the Dallas Cowboys coached by Coach Barnhart, which we're going to see some clips, a clip from them later on here in a minute, and just a wonderful team there. The Broncos, Coach Bear, our youngest head coach this year, 15 years old. He is leading them well. Had a rough start with the Ravens game one, and then they have just been on a roll since then, beating a very good Raiders team this past week. And then the 9U Rams in South are still hanging in there. They're in the top five, followed out by the Raiders, the Rams from Central, and the Colts from South. And so speaking of them, we're going to take a look, a couple bright spots here, and it's not that we are picking certain games. It's just whatever video we have available to us. There are games that go on down in Weston. Those games are recorded video on demand on the Pixelot camera. This past weekend, there was a little bit of a hiccup getting some of the games, and so we missed some of the action down there. But the other clips that I'll be showing tonight come from our live stream here. So I was just able to browse through those quickly and grab a few. But the first, as we were just talking about the Cowboys, take a look here at Cooper Johnson. Cooper Johnson is a handful, and here this game was extremely tight. The first half, the Cowboys and the Rams still looking for their first win. Coach Halbreder, it's got them playing well. It's just a little here, a little there. But as you see in this clip, the fake reverse there, and Coop, once he gets that corner, he reads it, sees it, stays in bounds, and makes that cut. And once he makes that cut, it's just off to the races. And just what a great score, great play, and just a good play all around. Great game. It was a good game. Next up, as we were talking, the Broncos won a tough one against the Raiders. here. And this one right here, Paxton Sanofsky is turning into, this is his second year at quarterback here. And you see him on the rollout, looking downfield, finding the open man. There's Luke Perry coming up with a big catch there, and that was a big play, put him in position to pull a first down. And Pax is quickly growing into this quarterback position. Only the second year he's played it, making the reads. Another clip here of Pax finding his best buddy and favorite receiver, Bray, downfield. There's Bray, found a little opening, makes the move on the Raiders defender there, and into the end zone he goes. So Pax is making a name for himself in 10U, making the reads, getting the ball down the field, and looks like it's going to be a good season for the Broncos there if they continue this. Have some games coming up. And actually, you know what? We can flip over here quickly before we go to a break. Flip over to the schedule and take a peek at what's coming up through 10U. Let's pull it up here. Here we go. And so right now we've got, you see this week, the Chargers and Broncos, and then Coach Wyman and the Bengals from South come up, take on the Bills. The 9 o'clock game there, we have the Dolphins down in Lewis County playing the Giants. That should be a good game. That's a rematch of a game that happened a couple weeks ago. Both teams, the top of the list in there. The Dolphins, the top of the food chain here in Roar Central, Roar South. The Giants are doing very well down there, so that should be a good game. I know Coach Radcliffe said he's going to have something for him. So, Coach Amack, if you're listening, want to make sure that you're aware that the Dolphins are coming for you, and it should be a real good game. Let's see what other games we got going on here. Oh yeah, the Bills and the Lions. Coach Sinelli taking on Jordan Wilcox and them, and then if you're circling a game of the week, if we had a game of the week for the 9 o'clock hour, I would say let's definitely circle this one. The Titans and Panthers, that should be a humdinger of a game. Looking forward to seeing what happens in that game with Coach Brewer and Coach Thornburg, two great squads. Moving up to the 10 o'clock hour, down south, we're going to have the Raiders, Coach Holbert, looking for their first win, and may get a bounce-back game here. The Colts have dealt with some injuries, and they're just a step here, a play there away. And I talked to Coach Charles Wolf, and he had told me that they had one player, one of their good players, I think got hurt playing tackle actually, unrelated to flag, and they had another player was sick or something. So maybe a little tough to pull that off against the Raiders. Raiders are hungry. They're looking for it. And I will say this. The Raiders probably have one of the best zone defenses in 10U. They're very disciplined. They play the zone well. It is hard to run on them. So just keep an eye out on that game as well. That should be a really good game for that. And so as we're moving on here, the Rams, Coach Pat Halbritter, things are not going to get any easier. Plays the first place Ravens, so that should be a tough game for the Rams. But like I said, they've held their own against the other teams and played really well. So we'll see what happens with them. And then the 10U Cowboys and Lions. If you're going to circle one in the 10U division, this is the one you want to watch. It'll be live streamed this week. The Cowboys clip we just saw with Cooper Johnson taking on the former last year's runner-up, Super Bowl runner-up, Coach Miggs and his Lions. He has his core team back, and this should be a good game. A little bit of a revenge game maybe for Coach Barnhart. Not trying to stir things up, but maybe a little bit of a revenge game. I seem to remember last the Lions knocked well, I think it was the Dolphins, but Miggs knocked Barnhart out last year in the playoffs. So always fun to spice it up a little bit and see these coaches getting a little excited about things. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, pay some bills, 30 seconds. And when we come back, we're going to dig into the 12U, 15U, check out the schedules, check out the rankings, and talk about that. We'll be right back.
Roar Sports would like to thank the following 2025 fall sponsors: A&S Recovery, Dan Cava Toyota, State Farm agent Stephanie Hayhurst Hall, Trinity Transport, Latham Pool Products, El Rey Mexican Restaurant, Bridgeport Conference Center, Fat Angelo's Pizzeria, West Virginia State Police Troopers Association, Subway of Weston, Shop and Save of Weston, Blue Knights, Friedland's Water Gardens, Commodore Realty, Simply Green LLC, and Lost Trail Film and Photo. Thank you for helping us help the youth in our community.
There we go. Back from commercial break. If you guys get a chance and you have the opportunity to support any of those local businesses, we encourage you to. They do a great job helping us out, helping the kids out, and making possible things like the live streams and so forth. So we would love for you guys to help support them as well. So back to the rankings we go, and we're going to take a peek at the 12U division. 12U division. I've got the my Chargers here. We're having a good season, undefeated, 4-0, holding on to that first place spot. Coach Miggs, his Seahawks breathing right down our neck, right there at 3-1. The Ravens followed up. They're starting to come along. It seems like every week the Ravens just get better and better, putting on wins. They got a solid win last week against the Cowboys and Roar South. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Ravens finish out. The Ravens have done well. Talked to Coach Amack, the coach for the Cowboys in Roar South. He mentioned that the game was tied 7-7 at halftime, and then I guess the wheels just kind of fall off, and Ravens made a few plays, and just kind of sometimes that happens, and it just continued to steamroll down there, and the Ravens walked away with like a 31-7 win, I believe. Out of that game down there. So the Ravens are coming along. They've got the two sets of twins that are vets, the Kesner twins, the Boyles twins, both excellent players, as well as Dez, big receiver. Still have a first-year quarterback in Brock, but he is looking better and better each week. And they have another quarterback in Trent as well, and they've just got some other players that are really good. So watch out for the Ravens. It should be interesting. I've circled that on the calendar. I told Coach Jermel for our team, we play the Ravens the last season, and so last game of the season rather. So kind of just interested in seeing how that game plays out with them having an entire season to get things together and what it may look like for us to play them with the Chargers. So speaking of the Chargers, just going to kind of take a minute here and talk about them. We've got just this past weekend we played the Lions, and we'll get Coach Nate on the phone here in a moment. Jordan Molina, wow, what a job he did. He took off and pulled out. I think he finished up with 3 sacks on that. So we'll see if we can get Coach Morrow on the phone and talk about, see what he can let us know about the Lions, and then coming up the games with his 15U Saints. See if we can get Coach Morrow on the phone. And there he is. Coach Morrow, how are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So we're talking about the Lions and Chargers right now, wrapping up 12U. And we're talking about Jordan Molina putting that pressure on Rocco. I still think Rocco played a good game. He still made some good passes. But I don't know what adjustments you think you can make looking towards the end of the season in the playoffs, knowing that you got a game coming up. I think it's the last game of the season. You got to play Coach Miggs, and he's got a couple dynamic blitzers. What kind of adjustments do you think you can make there to start off hot with you on that with Rocco and the Lions there?
Yeah, Rocco was working through a neck injury. He hurt his neck earlier in the week last week, so we weren't able to completely, air the ball out with that. But talking about Jordan, he is an absolute menace. He doesn't stop. I mean, he stays right on you. He's quick. unlike some of the other kids, whenever they blitz, he knows how to break down and decide which way they're going to go first, and then he pursues to pull the flag. But I think Rocco's going to be okay moving forward. It's more of a scheme kind of thing. You just have to prepare for Jordan, which is hard to do.
Yeah. Hey, Rocco's got a quick release. We noticed that the first time we played you guys. He gets that when he wants to get that ball out. He has one of probably the fastest delivery of any 12U quarterback, I would say.
Oh, absolutely.
Very fast delivery. Coach, let me ask you something. Did you just take a minute? Did you see? Were you looking down in the end zone when Davian Crane made that one-handed snag?
Yeah, my mouth hit the floor. I thought it was an overthrow, and all of a sudden he just comes up and he comes down with it. I mean, everybody on the sidelines. I mean, there's absolutely nothing you can do. I mean, my guys were in position. Like I said, I thought it was an overthrow, and the shortest kid on the field seemed to come up with the ball somehow. Yeah,
I got a replay of that, watching it right now coming up, and it's just his mom actually had a video she was taking, and I was glad because our live stream barely caught it on the corner. But yeah, he's probably he might be the shortest kid in 12U. Plays a lot bigger. This is his first year playing flag, so we were excited for him in that. But yeah, so looking over at the schedule, Coach, transitioning over to that right now. So this week looks like, let's see, I think you and I are both in Weston. We got the Falcons. I think you've already played them. You got any special preparations you're making for the Cowboys?
No, the Cowboys they're a stout team. It always seems like when the Central teams go down to Weston, I don't know if playing on the grass or playing outside is kind of throws a wrench into everybody's plans, but it should be a good game. Cowboys aren't to be taken lightly at all.
Yeah, I know. When we played the Cowboys, we had it was I want to say it was like 6-6 at halftime. I want to say, I think it was 6. Was it 6-6 at halftime? 13-6 at halftime. But it was a tight game. I know they scored on their first drive, then we scored the first drive. And then it was just back and forth. They were in our red zone several times. Our defense came up big, but it was, they're definitely not a team. Christian seems to get better every week. I know they're struggling. Talk to Coach Amack. They're struggling a little bit at the quarterback position, trying to get the reads in and so forth. But they're definitely coming along. And so it should be a good game. You think Rocco will be fully healed by then?
Yeah, I hope so. If Rocco's fully healed, there's no net, and we all know Rocco's got a big arm.
Oh, so. Yeah, for sure. 100%. Well, Coach, we're going to go back to the rankings here real quick, and before we go to the 15U. So, rounding it out, we've got the Cowboys and then the Falcons down there. The 15U division seems like the Saints just continue to roll on. Got a couple clips here. This one clip here, the one we're looking at right now, is Bear gets loose towards the end. I think we went for a fourth down. We didn't get it. They scored and put it within 4. And I think quarterback. Quick handoff to Bear. And he was just off to the races. That seemed to
Bills need to stop here.
Right. And they've got another clip playing right now of Bear dumping it off to Nate underneath, and just Nate doing what Nate does. He gets around 1-2 defenders, hits the sidelines, and zips through another, drops the hips. It's just that hip drop move that he has incorporated this year. He didn't have that last year, did he?
No, not really. I mean, every time I watch him, it makes my knees hurt.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that. But as we're winding down the discussion of 15U, I do want to point out, showing a clip here now of Parker Wolford. What a surprise for the Bills. The first clip we're showing right now is one where he drops that dime in the back of the end zone to Noah Bomar. Just what a beautiful pass. And I don't think people understand and give our kids enough credit, all of them up here in all divisions, that you got to throw that ball on a rope when you throw these long passes because of the ceiling nets.
Yeah, you can't put much air underneath it. It has to be on the rope. Parker also had a great pass, like to the outside line, the jet side.
Yeah, that's the one I'm showing. That's the one we're there. That's the one I'm showing right now. Yeah. Yeah. I think Tanner was pressing him out there. He had a catch like this. I think it was in the earlier game we played a couple weeks ago. He had a catch like that. So yeah, so Bills got some options, and hey, they look really good game. The River guy, Evan Root was out, so I know we were missing what Caden was out. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, so but I thought it was a good game. They played well. So yeah, well, Coach. I told our audience we have an abbreviated show tonight because Mig's not here in studio, and just wanted to get something out. They're week 4, but looking forward, what do you seeing? Go back to these rankings here for a minute. I know you've been helping out with the direction and stuff. What do you think in the 6U? I think the Dolphins up here for Central, right? Got a pretty good hold there.
Yeah, they're pretty good hold. They're a little different than the other ones. They aired out a little bit more than most of the other 6U teams.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're well coached. They're going to be hard to beat.
Right. And you were there, so you were watching while I was officiating. I was talking about it earlier in the show tonight. The Bills, the Broncos, and the Patriots. What do you think? How do you think that's going to shake out?
That's going to be a tough one. I don't want to be anywhere near the officiating for any of those games.
and then you know, right behind him you have the Jags, the Titans, and the Panthers, all three capable of dropping in there. And then of course there's always players with the Falcons and Lions with surprise. The 10U division, I don't know how much you've done of it, but the usual suspects up there. It seems like the Ravens, Lions, Cowboys, and Broncos are seem to be heading for a collision course towards the end of the season. Of course, I don't know, man. You can never count Halbritter out. Him and Holbert both will figure something out.
Yeah, Pat's always good for pulling an upset towards the playoffs or in the playoffs, and next thing you know, you think you got him beat, and you're the one headed home, and then Pat's moving home.
Well, I mean, and Holbert's right in there, especially after he pulled off that Super Bowl against the Bills in a couple seasons ago. Nobody expected that, and he pulled that one off in overtime. So both of them are dangerous, and so and then 12U, like I said, we've got seems like the chart. I don't know what's going to happen here because I just think there's going to be some shifting around. I think the Ravens continue to get better. The game I'm circling is when you guys play Coach Miggs. That's going to be the game I'm interested in. See what's going to happen there. And so and then so just so our audience knows, we changed the format for playoffs for the 15U division. Since there's only 3 teams and they've had abbreviated games, we're going to a doubleheader or a double elimination playoffs.
Absolutely. Once you get to like 12 and 15, these kids want to play more.
Right.
And with being 3 teams, it gives everybody kind of like 2 bites at the apple. If you lose once, it doesn't necessarily end your season. You can always come back and run the table.
Sure.
So I think the players will enjoy it a lot more. They get to play a little bit extra, and there'll be a little bit more excitement for the fans.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, listen, thanks so much for joining us tonight. Appreciate having you here, and we'll see you out on the field.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, folks, we'll be right back here. Quick commercial break, and we'll bring it back to wrap it up. A couple announcements you'll want to stay tuned for.
Roar Sports would like to thank the following 2025 fall sponsors: A&S Recovery, Dan Cava Toyota, State Farm agent Stephanie Hayhurst Hall, Trinity Transport, Latham Pool Products, El Rey Mexican Restaurant, Bridgeport Conference Center, Fat Angelo's Pizzeria, West Virginia State Police Troopers Association, Subway of Weston, Shop and Save of Weston, Blue Knights, Friedland's Water Gardens, Commodore Realty, Simply Green LLC, and Lost Trail Film and Photo. Thank you for helping us help the youth in our community.
Sorry about that, folks. Don't have the producer Bear here. So, again, the triathlon announcement we made. Also, looking at the schedule this weekend coming up. We didn't get through the rest of that. Here we go. We got the Seahawks and Ravens. Should be a good one. Should be a good one there. This is a rematch. They played a couple weeks ago, and the Ravens actually had the Seahawks on the ropes right at the end. The Seahawks had the game in control. They threw an interception. Ravens drove down the field. Last play of the game, threw it up, and the receiver got a hand on it but just couldn't come down with it. Made a great interception. The Seahawks did, and so that was it. But I look for that game to be a lot closer. And so, as you're looking here at the schedule, the Eagles and Bills, and the Saints and the Bills. So the Bills have the doubleheader in the 15U division this weekend. Once again, the triathlon. I know our mics were cut out there for a second. The triathlon. Please make sure you are crossing at the Star, only entering through the front doors of the bridge. Not the back doors, not the back glass doors, only the front doors. Have to park there. Please plan for that. Also, just as a quick reminder, if you guys need to reach us, you can always do so, 304-608-3529. You can also reach us via the email, info@roarsportswv.com, info@roarsportswv.com. Also, starting this week, we will start, after next week, we'll start taking pre-orders for the VIP seats for the playoffs. Those always seem to go fast. Just as a quick reminder, if you're at the field, we have red chairs and blue chairs for the 6 and 8U games, and then there's one set at the 50-yard line for the 10U and up games that are full field. Please make sure you're dropping off a $5 deposit at the door. There's usually Christy or Amanda or Leslie or someone's at the door that can take your $5 donation. We use that to help fund the league. The majority of it goes towards scholarships, the rest of it towards game operations. As we are growing and need more help, we've got most of it covered by volunteers, but we do have to put forth a little bit of an effort financially, and so it's either that or we raise price of registration. We try to keep that price down. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out, and we will see you on